Next question. The question says that say find, there are 5 questions provided to us. Variance of the returns on the market portfolio. So here is information provided to us for the past returns of security and market. And the question says that so you are required to compute sigma m square. That is the first question. Second is the variance for the security X. So we are required to compute sigma X square. Third question is beta for the security. So beta is required to be computed. Fourth question is calculate R correlation coefficient between the security X with the market portfolio. So R is required to be calculated between security and market. Fifth question, calculate systematic risk and unsystematic risk for the security X. Like that, say these are the 5 questions which have been provided to us. I request all of you to go to the question, please. This question is having say certain questions to be calculated, that is especially the first 4 questions for which we already have done answer. I'm say opening that portion of the answer that say we have done earlier, wherein you can see that say we have computed the covariance, we have made the computation of the variance of the market portfolio. The very first question wherein the beta was calculated, beta using the alternative method in which we have made the calculation of R, and so on, we have done answer. So let us see that say how to write answers. The first question is that say you are required to compute the sigma m square. Of course, I'm going to write that in detail, but this is 84. Okay. So we understand that's the answer of the first question. It is 84. The second question is that so what is the variance of the return of security X? That is a question. So variance for the security X is 93.50. Okay, X minus X bar divided by N. So this is 93.50. The third question is that's a calculation of the beta. Beta has been found by us for 2 times. Very initial question. At the inception we have done 1.0357. Then correlation coefficient is required to be found. That is also what we already have done it, friends. It is 0.9817. So it is 0.9817. Now, of course, all of you must have understood that say we are taking base of all these calculations for making calculation of the fifth part of the question. That is the calculation of the systematic risk and unsystematic risk of the security. For that, say we are going to make the calculation. But before we do the fifth part of the question answer, let us just write these 4 answers, not in detail, just these values directly, and we can give a reference of the earlier question in which we have done this working. So write down answer along with me. In the first question, it is variance of the market portfolio, which is 84. Second part of the question, in which we are required to compute the variance for the security X. So variance of the security X, it is 93.5. Third question, in that say we are required to find beta. Beta is 1.0357. Fourth question is R correlation coefficient. It is 0.9817. Yes. This is the way answer of these first 4 questions. Okay. Now let us have understanding of the fifth part of the question. I do not want you to write anything. Let me just give explanation to you. Because basically for doing fifth part of the question, we require all this information. So that is the way the question is formed. Now the question says that so you are required to calculate the systematic risk and unsystematic risk for the security X. That is the question. So basically we understand that the total risk of the security is required to be bifurcated into systematic risk and unsystematic risk. That is the question. How to do such bifurcation? That is what we are going to have basically the understanding. The total risk is consisting of systematic risk and unsystematic risk. We know that say whatever is the risk in the security due to market changes is considered to be the systematic risk. For the purpose of this calculation, what we will do, friends, simply we will be having say the formula to be applied like this: r square into sigma x square. R will be taken between say the security and the market. Over here we understand that say the value of the R is 0.9817. So it is 0.9817 raised to 2 into variance of the security, that is 93.5. Dear students, over here we are using the formula as r square into sigma x square instead of r into standard deviation of security. What is the reason? Because we understand that as far as the total risk is concerned, the total risk is measured either in the variance term or the total risk is measured in standard deviation term. Then you may have a question that, sir, why we are not applying this formula r into standard deviation of security, and instead of that we are applying the formula r square into variance of security. That is a question that say you might have. Giving reply to that question, we know, friends, as far as the standard deviation is concerned, it is calculated as under root of the variance. Variance is concerned, it is calculated as x minus x bar whole square into probability and summation of that, or x minus x bar whole square summation of that divided by number of years. So in either of the case, what will happen? We understand that so the variance is always going to be positive. If variance is positive, then its under root standard deviation is always going to be positive. So this value will always be positive. While value of the R is having a range from -1 to +1. That is the reason. So what happens that say it may happen that if R is negative, then in that case the systematic risk would become negative, which is not possible. That is the reason. So what we are doing, we are making square over here. When you make a square, it means that say the negative value will also become positive. So we will be able to say calculate the systematic risk always in positive. Since we are making square for R, we are making square over here, and that is what we understand is the variance. We understand logically over here, the important explanation over here is that whatever is the volatility in the securities return due to market changes is considered to be the systematic risk. And as far as the variance of the security is concerned, that is indicating the total risk. This is the total risk, and r square is indicating, r square into sigma x square is indicating the volatility in the securities return due to market changes. So use your calculator. 0.9817 into 0.9817 into 93.5, that comes to 90.11. This is what we understand is the systematic risk. What is unsystematic risk? Very simple. We understand that's the total risk minus systematic risk. What is total risk? total risk is 93.5. Systematic risk is 90.11. So 93.5 minus 90.11. That comes to 3.39. This is the way unsystematic risk can be calculated. Of course, we understand that the term unsystematic risk stands for that portion of the total risk of the portfolio, say, which is say due to company's own inefficiency. That is a unique risk, that is that is diversifiable risk. We understand that say this is the portion of the risk which can be eliminated say with proper diversification. This is the way the total risk is bifurcated into systematic and unsystematic risk. And needless to say that say this bifurcation that say we have made is having the unit term as percentage square, because standard deviation is calculated in percentage term, variance is calculated in percentage square term. So this systematic risk and unsystematic risk that we have found is in the percentage square term. Please write an answer. Now friends, over here we understand that so this kind of bifurcation can be made using an alternative method. What is that alternative method? Let us understand. For that, I am giving explanation to you. See, the systematic risk is calculated as r square into sigma x square. For the purpose of derivation of the formula, you can add something on both the sides. You can multiply something on both the sides. Like you just have to give, say, a kind of equality on both the sides. So what I am doing, friends, now to derive a new formula, I multiply with variance of market portfolio and I divide the same with the variance of market portfolio. I do like both of them simultaneously. Why? For the purpose of deriving the formula. Now I am rewriting the formula r square. So I am writing r for 2 times. Sigma x square. So I am writing sigma x again for 2 times. Sigma m square, that I am writing over here. Again sigma m square. So I divide the same with sigma m on both the sides. This is sigma m and this is sigma m. Okay. Now what you can see, friends, you can see that this is a formula for calculation of the beta. Nothing else. This is again the formula for calculation of the beta. Nothing else. So what we can do over here, it is beta into beta, that is beta square into variance of the market portfolio. Multiplication of both of them is a systematic risk. That is what we understand. So this is the systematic risk of the security. Okay. So over here we can say like this, that again the total risk 93.5, that is in the variance term. This is divided into two parts, systematic risk and unsystematic risk. Systematic risk is beta square into sigma m square. What is beta? It is 1.0357 raised to 2 into sigma m square. You can see that so the sigma m square is 84. Beta is 1.0357. So this is 84. Use a calculator along with me. 1.0357 square into 84. That comes to 90.10. So it is very near to this. So I am writing the same value so that there is no confusion. Unsystematic risk is the balancing figure, that is total risk minus systematic risk. What is total risk? Total risk is 93.5 minus 90.11. That comes to 3.39. This is the way so the unsystematic risk can be calculated as balancing figure. Now basically That is a question to which I come across number of times by students. That sir, beta itself is measuring systematic risk. Answer is yes. This is also systematic risk. Answer is yes. Then what is the difference between both of them? Giving reply to that question. See what happens at the beta is calculated as systematic risk. However, it does not have any unit. It is neither in percentage term, nor in rupees term, nor in any other term. However, this systematic risk which we are calculating, it is in the percentage square term. That is the way it is different. That is just I give sometimes an example like this. That sir, when you pass your CA intermediate examination, what was your result? That was like, say that is a question to which I come across number of times. Then I may tell to students that say, I scored 315 marks because we had only 6 subjects, not 8 subjects. So I may tell that say I scored 315 marks, or otherwise I may tell students that say I scored 52.5 percentage. That is 315 divided by 600 into 100. So my result can be spoken either in the marks term or it can be spoken in percentage term. Either of the way you can say present it. Similarly over here we understand the systematic risk can be measured either in beta term which does not have a unit, or it can be measured in percentage square term. And whenever the question says that so you are required to bifurcate the total risk into systematic and unsystematic, then in that case, this is the way the institute is expecting answer from us. So please write down answer. So writing a note for the answer. In that say first of all I am dictating a note for this. Okay. So write down a note for this. Systematic risk means that portion of total risk which is undiversifiable, comma, it is due to market factors. Full stop. With paragraph write down. To measure the same, we take into account R between security and market. Full stop. With paragraph write down. Importantly, above bifurcation is made of variance term, comma, instead of standard deviation. Full stop. And of course friends, I need not to that is say explain that for making calculation of answer you can apply either of the formula for doing answer and it is absolutely acceptable.